What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Dynasty, brought to you by the League FFB. Let me get situated here, man. I've been cutting it down to the damn wire here, and I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just saying I was making some graphics about 10 minutes before the show started. So, it is what it is. Let's get the suspect for said delay on the screen, and let's talk a little bit about it. What's up, man?
Suspect, huh? That's how we rolling these days now, right? I'm the
That's how we rolling,
suspect.
man. I'm literally exporting this graphic as we speak.
All right, that's my fault, guys. I was a little bit, I kind of was getting situated too, kind of messing up the flow here, but
It's all good. Can we get a
we're
little
gonna
bit of
build it.
volume from you?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could. How's it sound now?
About the same.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I gotta bring this over here a little bit. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, it's actually not any better the closer you get.
That's that's concerning.
Let's make sure your mic is on. While you're
Yeah.
fiddling with it, I'll let everybody know what we're going to be talking about today because we got a show where we're going to be talking about bold predictions for the 2023 season. Now, I think you and I took it a little bit of a different way when we were putting in our graphics and our submissions, I guess. But we'll talk a little bit more in detail about what that means. I want to just really go through. We both took 3 of them, and we'll just go as we see it, and we'll talk about each of them and give our reasoning why. But let's get a sound check one more time from you.
Sound check 1 2 1 2. Still no good.
It's fine. Maybe it was my headphones. I just turned my headphone up a little bit and you sound better, but I guess I can't really tell how you sound compared to me, but if we get somebody in here, I'm sure they'll let us know.
Okay.
So let's just start off with why don't we start off with your first bold prediction, and it's going to be about Aaron Rodgers. So talk to me about Aaron Rodgers and your bold prediction for him.
You know, I tend to believe that when these guys switch teams after all these years, like obviously fans are always going to be like, oh yeah, it's that easy for a guy to jump from one organization to another organization and just kind of pick up where they left off. And even in Rodgers' case, is picking up where he left off even necessarily a good thing because where he left off at Green Bay was kind of trending towards being mid.
Yeah,
Um, and now he's going to go over to New York, new team, new organization, new expectations. And, my bro prediction is that he's going to fall very short of a lot of people's expectations. Sorry, Brett. That's kind of just how it's probably going to go for Aaron Rodgers. I just don't see him going to it. I just have a feeling that he's not going to go to New York and produce the way a lot of people are thinking he's going to produce.
fair enough. Um, for the sake of Garrett Wilson, I hope that that is not the case because I think Garrett Wilson has the ability to go top five this year. I think he's the ability to be a top five receiver this year. But as far as if Aaron Rodgers falls on his face, I don't know how feasible that is for him.
If Aaron Rodgers falls on his face, you're probably going to get similar numbers to what you got from Garrett Wilson last season,
Okay,
as opposed to his stats skyrocketing with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we'll see though, man. I have to see it to believe it.
fair enough. So I want to ask you when, for fantasy purposes, when you say he's going to fall on his face, what is the range of finishes for him fantasy wise?
Amongst all eligible quarterbacks
Mm-hmm.
for him, so I think that a lot of fans' expectation is that he's going to be like a top 10 fantasy quarterback. I
Mm-hmm.
think in reality, you're going to be looking at more like the 15 to 17 range.
Okay, fair
Like he
enough.
falls off of a cliff, pretty much.
Fair enough. I can't remember where he finished last year. Do you remember where Aaron Rodgers finished last year for fantasy?
Um,
I'm
I
gonna
could
pull it
find
up.
out for you.
Let's see. Rodgers. Last year, Aaron Rodgers finished as the quarterback 13. So it would be his worst finish um, in the history of his career, assuming he starts all those games.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that there's two things that I think fans got twisted with how this NFL thing works. I think one
Okay.
of those things is the idea that guys are just going to play to 45 like Tom Brady and still be effective. And I think another thing a lot of fans have twisted is thinking that guys are just going to jump organizations like a Peyton Manning, like a people have to remember when Peyton Manning jumped organizations, you weren't getting Indianapolis Peyton Manning. Like you were
Right.
getting a Peyton Manning that was held up by his defense. Like I think that first year Peyton Manning played for the Broncos, he was still putting up amazing numbers. And hey, maybe Aaron Rodgers will get that, but I don't remember Peyton Manning falling off before he left the Colts and went to the Broncos. I remember Peyton Manning being Peyton Manning. He wasn't on the downslide like Aaron Rodgers showed he was last season. And I know it's easy to say, oh well, Aaron Rodgers, he was throwing to Christian Watson and Dobbs and but it wasn't all on those rookies, man. Like it wasn't all on those rookies, and you know, regretfully, Aaron Rodgers didn't have the class to have a training camp and throw to those guys and help coach those guys up like he's apparently doing with Garrett Wilson and those guys over there in New York. But but yeah, I think fans have it twisted that they think it's just like a fish to water situation where, oh, I'm just going to switch teams and everything's going to be fine and dandy. I mean, look at Russell Wilson. Like, how did he fare jumping from an organization he's been with even shorter in an even shorter amount of time and just went over to Denver?
Yeah.
I mean, as many times, like for every Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, there's a Russell Wilson, there's a Phillip Rivers. Like I think he's closer to Phillip Rivers than Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, quite honestly.
Fair enough. Well, like I said, I hope it doesn't happen because I have Garrett Wilson. I have good things that I want Garrett Wilson to do, but that is your bold prediction. Aaron Rodgers is going to fall on his face now that he's moved to the Jets. So I'm going to get over to mine, and it's going to be about Justin Herbert for the Los Angeles Chargers. And the bold prediction for Justin Herbert is that Justin Herbert finishes the 2023 fantasy football season as the quarterback one. I think that Justin Herbert getting Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator and having Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and many others on that offense, I think the focus shifting over to kind of a pass heavy offense. We're not going to have the Lombardi offense anymore. It's going to be Kellen Moore. There's a lot of weapons. And just to give you some context, Justin Herbert last year played with fractured ribs, all this other injuries that he had been dealing with all year long, and he still threw for like 4,700 yards. So Justin Herbert, he's kind of undervalued in dynasty fantasy football leagues right now, I think, for the most part. But 5,000 a year before, 4,300 as a rookie. I think this year, man, Justin Herbert has the ability to be QB1, and it's probably going to be with like 5,000 yards and probably 35 to 40 touchdowns. That's probably how he's going to do it.
I mean, that's your guy right there, Justin Herbert. I mean, you know what? I'm going to just take a sit back and watch approach with Justin Herbert. I know I've been a little bit hard on this Justin recently. Andrew, turn your bottle around.
Oh,
Gotta get
you
that.
want the sponsor?
Yeah, gotta get that. Gotta fish for that sponsorship. I think I'm gonna give him a chance, man. I have no clue why he's fallen short of expectations. I mean, honestly, I expected at this point, I expected the league and everyone else to look at Justin Herbert the same way we look at a Joe Burrow. But the reality is that we just don't right now. So I just want to see where it is. I'm definitely not going to say that your bold prediction is unlikely to happen.
They're
But
supposed
I
to be
think it's,
bold, right?
yeah. Um, I won't write it. I won't write it off, man. I won't write it off.
So I wanna ask the question of why do we not view Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert similarly? Because when I look at the two guys and I compare them, Joe Burrow has two tops. He has one top 10 finish and one top 5 finish as a quarterback in fantasy football, and roughly about 4,500 and 4,600 yards in both of those years, respectively. Now, Justin Herbert, one top 10 and one top 5. So the exact same thing, but he has more yardage in both of those seasons and similar passing touchdowns. Now, the only difference is that Justin Herbert last year finished as a QB. He finished as QB 11. So he was still a low end QB1 in your 12-man leagues. And he still threw for 4,700 yards. That's just right on pace with Joe Burrow, if not better, because Joe Burrow's rookie season, he didn't even get to finish it off and he didn't finish top 11. So we have more top 12 finishes from Justin Herbert, and we have a higher finish overall from Justin Herbert because he finished 2021 as QB2 on the season. And Joe Burrow's highest finish is QB4. So why are we not looking at them in the same lens?
I mean, Andrew, honestly, can you hear me better now, or is it still
Yeah,
trash?
no, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I had to move it a little bit. Honestly, Andrew, the only explanation I can have is that it's because of the Chargers' lack of success as a team. That's literally the only thing I could think of. It's
Yeah,
the only thing. I think for non-fantasy football purposes, there's actually real live football reasons for why people view Justin Herbert the way they view him.
yeah. I'm just looking at it. Obviously the Bengals are more popular than the Chargers, and Joe
Yeah.
Burrow has the Joey Icy, the Joe Shiesty, the cigar, all the stuff, right? People love
Yeah,
Joe Burrow, and
yeah.
and for a good reason because Joe Burrow is a hell of a quarterback, and I think he's fantastic. But we play fantasy football, and I'm telling you that you can get similar production out of Justin Herbert at a cheaper price. And we think that Joe Burrow can finish as this QB1 on the season. We think that that's in the realm of possibilities. So I'm telling you, we should view Justin Herbert similarly. And I think by adding Quentin Johnston and adding Kellen Moore, who, let's not forget that Kellen Moore, when he first started taking over offensive play calling for Dak Prescott, Dak was throwing the hell out of the ball. Like, they started throwing the ball like crazy in Dallas. And so I'm just saying maybe they go and they start doing that in LA. I don't know. I just think QB1 is in the range of outcomes, and I'm willing to put my stamp on it as a bold prediction.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with it, man. Let's roll with it. Let's roll with your bold prediction, man.
Fair enough. Now let's get to your second one. And I'm not going to lie, I messed up the graphic because I just assumed that it was going to be Keontae Ingram. But
Let's
this
talk
is,
about it.
yeah, this is a Arizona Cardinals prediction. So tell me this prediction here.
You actually didn't screw up on the graphic. I think Keontae Ingram was the logical player to put right there. My bold prediction was that there's going to be an unknown running back that emerges from the backfield. It could be Keontae Ingram. It could be some guy he picked up as an undrafted free agent. It could be a veteran running back like Daryl Henderson or Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, if he wants to go to a team that's not going to make the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
um, we don't know right now. But the whole point behind why this is my bold prediction is that I think while healthy, James Conner is going to have a fairly decent season. I just do not think that James Conner is going to stay healthy. Kyler Murray is injured. Kyler Murray is going to be out to begin the season or even quite possibly the entire season. And this team is going to rely on James Conner entirely too much, and his body is not going to hold up. Guys, we got to remember that James Conner is a running back that is prone to injuries. Prone to injuries. I think he had a pretty healthy season last season for his standards,
Yeah.
but if we look back further from even this time with the Steelers, James Conner gets injured. Okay. Before, when Kyler Murray was healthy, we didn't have to worry about putting too much on James Conner. And then at one point we had Chase Edmonds. You know, we had other running backs in the backfield with him. Now it's just James Conner and other unknown running backs. So I think that when Conner gets injured, these unknown running backs are going to emerge, or quite simply, these unknown running backs are going to proceed with unseating James Conner because for a running back, James Conner is getting a little long in the tooth in running back years. He's what, 26, 27 now? I mean, that's like
He's 28 going on 29 this season.
he's 28 going on 20. That's 40 years old in running back years. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, James Conner, I don't see him being able to hold off. Like Keontae Ingram is like a fifth round draft pick. I don't know if he's going to hold off Keontae Ingram. And I'm not quite sure that the Cardinals are going to be comfortable going into the season with Keontae Ingram as their backup, unless they love Keontae Ingram. And then there's another guy that they have in their locker room on their team. Now, I'm not going to share his name because I have waivers on him in multiple leagues that Andrew's in. Um, but there is a guy there, and you know what? He's owned by like 0% of the leagues in sleeper. But I did my own research through back channels, and I'm gonna put this guy on my roster just to see how things shake out in training camp. I want to get the jump on everybody. So, um,
Fair
yeah, man,
enough.
that's where I am with James Conner, man. I think it's very logical to think that he's not going to finish the season. And I think it's very logical to believe that one of these guys that we don't even know yet could emerge and be the new Arizona Cardinals running back for the 2023 season.
Fair enough. Well, just to give you an idea, I mean, you talked a little bit about, James Conner's health, and Uh, 13 games was played last year, 15 the year before, 13 the year before that, 10 the year before that, 13 the year before that, 14 the year before that. Like James Conner plays 13 to 14 games a year, and that's about where he's at. Um, you know, the year he played 15, he finished top 5. That was his first year in Arizona. But I think you're right. This team without Kyler Murray uh, leading the team for probably the first half of the season, maybe more, it's going to be a bad offense, and it's not going to be a team that's really going to be super successful. Brandon said it the other day. He said, if you're the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray, you know that they're tied to Kyler Murray financially, and from my thought process, I feel like Gannon likes Kyler. He's already kind of committed to Kyler verbally multiple times. I think Kyler's the guy there. I just don't see a scenario where Kyler doesn't move as the Arizona Cardinals quarterback. So if he goes out and he misses, 8 or 9 games in that game, or in those games, the Cardinals win, let's say 1 or 2 of them, right? Why would you bring Kyler back this year? If you win 1 to 2 games, you're out of it. Why do you not just say, Kyler, make sure you're good to go for 2024? Because we want this pick to be low, because we want to draft you, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what we want to do. Why would you not do that?
I don't know why they wouldn't do it, but if I were the Bears, well, I'm always going to go. I'm going to bring them up every single podcast. I don't care. I don't care. I'll be saying, screw you, Arizona, Carolina. You need to suck even more so we can get Marvin Harrison Jr. But no. All seriousness, you're totally right. I just don't think there's any point in rushing Kyler back. By time he comes back or could possibly come back, they might have only won 1 game. So I mean, I just don't see it. And once
Yeah.
you get to that point, it's like there's no point in bringing him back. Just get him ready for 24. And it just leads back to my point. If Kyler's not coming back, then they're going to put this pressure on James Conner to generate offense, and he's not going to be able to do it. But you know what?
Yep.
For those who own James Conner, for the first however long, he's going to be putting up some numbers because he's going to have to.
Yep. And just to give you an idea of what that backfield looks like, because you're not saying it's Keontae Ingram, you're saying it's somebody in the backfield. And just
Could
what it
be
looks like
Keontae, could be someone else.
What it looks like today is it's Keontae Ingram, Corey Clement, and Tyson Williams. That's what it is today. Now, like you said, that can change. They, have UDFAs, or they can go get other guys, and so that can change. But that is what you're looking like. I think Keontae's the favorite right now, but that's what it looks like. And like you said, if they don't have Kyler Murray, you're going to an offense with Colt McCoy and or Clayton Tune, who they drafted in this year's class. And so it's gonna be a lot of run heavy offense. So
Oh,
yeah,
Clayton Tune's going to play.
yeah,
Clayton
I
Tune's
mean,
going to play because McCoy is another guy who he's going to get hurt.
yeah. So I totally agree with you that I would even be confident to say that even if James Conner miraculously has his first ever 17 game season where he plays every single game, even if he has that, I think that there's room for a guy like Keontae Ingram or whoever else to come in and make a little bit of a little bit of a role for themselves to where they could be somewhat fantasy relevant at that point. And then if you had the James Conner injury, then they definitely become fantasy relevant very quickly.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
Cool. Well, let's get to my second of our 3 bold predictions, and mine is going to be Kyle Phillips. And I think that Kyle Phillips for the Tennessee Titans this year is going to have the Tyler Boyd from 2019 100 receptions and 1,000 yard season. I think that's going to happen for Kyle Phillips. Now, I see you making that face. So listen to me. And again, this is a goal or a very bold prediction, but the Tennessee Titans have nobody. There is nobody playing receiver for them right now. It is Treylon Burks, Westbrook Akine, and Kyle Phillips. There's not really any free agent wide receivers out there. There's no really good undrafted free agents that you can go pick up as a UDFA. So Kyle Phillips, somebody who was kind of making a name for himself early in the year last year for them as their slot guy, got injured, missed some time, yada, yada, yada. Well, people have forgot about Kyle Phillips. I think Kyle Phillips is going to be a security blanket for Ryan Tannehill and or Will Levis whenever he gets into the game and starts playing for them, because I think we do see Will Levis this year. Now, Kyle Phillips is going to be that security blanket. And hot take. This is a bold prediction. He may be the best wide receiver on the team. And so I'm willing to say that Kyle Phillips is going to get 100 targets, and that's the bold prediction, is the 100 targets, because I think that's guaranteed for him this year. I'm willing to put it in stone. Let's just etch it and put it in stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has caught me completely off guard. I'm completely taken aback. I'm completely brain crushed by this pick by Andrew.
By the way, week 1 of last year, Kyle Phillips got 10 targets. Just week 1, and he was a rookie.
This reminds me of when you touted Chase, not Chase Edmonds. Yeah, Chase Edmonds. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think Kyle Phillips is going to do anything. Who is Kyle Phillips? I don't know. I have no. Okay, first of all, he's a Titans receiver. I got 2 words for you: Racy McMath. Okay, who knows? Like, first, okay, man, there's so much to unpack here. First of all, let's just start at the top. The quarterback is Ryan Tannehill.
All right.
The quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. Treylon Burks. So basically, you're telling me in the audience that Treylon Burks is trash. That's basically what you're telling us.
I'm not saying that he's trash. I'm just saying that from a technical standpoint, Kyle Phillips might be the best wide receiver on the team. And I'm not saying that he's the most talented. I'm saying he's the best, because I think he gets open more than Treylon Burks does. He's a better route runner than Treylon Burks is. I think that when it comes down to it, he's going to play in a role that, like you said, with it being Ryan Tannehill, he's not like making a ton of big plays. So if you need first downs, Kyle Phillips is your guy.
Wait, so I have to articulate this in a way I can understand. So when you say he's going to be the best receiver on the Titans, do you mean like the way Equiminius St. Brown was the best receiver on the Bears last year, where it's like, yeah, you're the best of trash? Because that's kind of how I look at the situation. The Titans passing offense is trash. Okay, Kyle Phillips, 600 yards, 3 touchdowns. Treylon Burks, 400 yards, I don't. Kyle Phillips.
I really think, I don't know. I was trying to go bold. We said bold predictions, so I was looking deep.
Bold.
I was going deep in the memory bank, and I was like, Kyle Phillips is a guy that I really liked last year, and he got hurt and he didn't get a lot going on, but they didn't add anything to the wide receiver room. So somebody there believes in Kyle Phillips is what my thought process is.
I think you could put a Phillips screwdriver on the field for the Titans, and he would have better stats than Kyle Phillips. That's the way
we're gonna revisit this one.
About this take. Kyle
We're
Phillips,
gonna revisit this one, because I feel like you think that I'm just talking out my ass right now. And I swear to you, Kyle Phillips may lead. He may lead. Now, I'm not saying he won't or he's guaranteed, but he may lead them in targets this year. I think 100 targets is really where he could be. But again, I think the lowest of lows for Kyle Phillips is that he's the wide receiver 2 on this offense. That is the lowest of lows.
You know what? Maybe I'm being too hard on. Put his graphic up one more time. Put his graphic up one more time. Nope. I still feel the same. Kyle Phillips, you trash, and your numbers are going to be pedestrian this year because your quarterback's pedestrian, and
fair enough.
You are probably Scotty Miller.
Well, I like Kyle Phillips coming out of UCLA, so we'll see what he does this year. Now let's talk about something that I definitely, I'm not against this one at all. And this is going to be your pick, specifically a bold prediction about Jordan Addison. So let me know what you think Jordan Addison is about to do this year.
I did this one for you, buddy. Did this one for you. Jordan, okay. I'm going to try to break this down technically. Let me get this straight. Jordan Addison is joining a team where he has the best wide receiver in the NFL on the opposite side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Not only to draw defenders over to him, but also to be his mentor. Jordan Addison is extremely confident. At this point, his athleticism has to far eclipse Adam Thielen's level of athleticism. Even though I think they're two
Receivers.
different kind of receivers.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that the athleticism is above. Um, he Adam Thielen. What were Adam Thielen's stats from last season?
Thielen. Well, let's just see. Adam Thielen's stats last year was it's not a lot. I mean, he got 100 targets. He caught 70 of those balls. It was 100 targets for 70 receptions, 700 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
Okay, so
Good for wide receiver 29 in fantasy football.
in order for Addison to eclipse Adam Thielen, like I predicted my bold prediction, all he has to do really is get more than 700 or so yards and more than 6 touchdowns. As a
Yeah,
Vikings fan, do you think that's so? Because we have to also factor in that KJ Osborne is going to, but KJ Osborne was also there last season. So
I
I
think
mean,
I think KJ Osborne, for what it's worth, I think KJ Osborne will probably start week 1 as the wide receiver 2. Um, but I think that very quickly Addison will take over that wide receiver 2 role. But I think that they like KJ enough that they're going to give him like the first shot at it.
cream always floats to the top though. If training camp starts and Addison is just kicking KJ Osborne's ass, then no matter how much they like KJ is not going to be there because if last I checked, I don't know how to say his freaking name, your GM,
Oh, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah.
Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. Last I
Yeah.
checked, he did not draft KJ Osborne, did he?
No,
Okay, so
that was
he
Spielman.
had that was Spillman. So just like down the road from you guys with our GM and our quarterback, and our wide receivers, Poles didn't draft Mooney. Tyler Scott could take his job. Quessy didn't draft Osborne. Addison could easily take his job, and the draft capital supports him taking his job. I
Yeah.
think, honestly, I'll be honest. Addison may not get more than 6 touchdowns this season, but I could see him with about 800 receiving yards.
Well, I might take over this bold prediction for you because I don't know if you saw in I don't know if you saw in our Dynasty chat, I changed Addison's nickname to 1,000 plus receiving yards year 1 guaranteed with the lock emoji. So I
See,
have Addison at 1,000 receiving yards this year.
I would that would be crazy, but hey, didn't a couple seasons ago Thielen and JJ also get 1,000 yards?
Yeah, and Diggs and Thielen used to do it all the time as well. But
Yeah, so
if you really sit down and think about it, like 1,000 yards for Jordan Addison, if he played all 17 games, he would have to average 58 yards a game. That's
yeah,
easy.
yeah, especially with the extra game. Yeah,
Yeah, that's easy. So he could go and get 58 yards a game. I guarantee that Jordan Addison has 2 or 3 100-yard games this year. And there's going to be, I think he's going to get 1,000 yards. I think it's very easy.
I can see it. I can see it. And if he doesn't get 1,000 yards, he's gonna damn be knocking on the door of 1,000 yards. I have more confidence in him getting the 1,000 yards than I do of him eclipsing the 6 touchdowns because I really think JJ and TJ Hawkinson are probably going to be like the red zone guys over there. But
Yep.
the 1,000
I
yards, yeah, I could definitely see him being the guy that eats the yards more so than gets the touchdowns.
Yep. I mean, we like to run in the red zone too. So Madison and Cook, as right now, Cook's still on the roster. Like I'm operating as if Dalvin Cook is our running back this year right now until it's said otherwise. So, all of those guys are probably going to have a good year. I mean, I think I just put the other day, because for whatever reason we won the North last year. We added more pieces to our offense, and we're like third in betting odds to win the NFC North. And
Man,
so I wouldn't I
I've
wouldn't put $100 on the Vikings to win the NFC North, and it's like it pays out like plus 400 or something.
I mean, you should. I mean, I've heard every take so far. I've heard the take of the Lions running away with the division. I heard the take of the Vikings running away with the division. I heard someone this morning. I forgot which one of those shows. It was either ESPN or
Probably saying the
NFL
Packers.
NFL Network, where they were just like the Packers are going to win 11 games. Then I heard, of course, with all my Bears like watchability, that the Bears are further ahead than everybody knows they have a shot at winning the division. So I mean, I think none of this stuff matters until the games are played. But the way I look at it, to beat a man, woo! You gotta beat the man. And right now, the man in the NFC North is the Minnesota Vikings. So that's just how I look at it. If they want the crown in the NFC North, then they're gonna have to take it out of Minnesota's cold, dead purple hands.
Well, like I said, eh, because of that reason, us not being betting favorites, I took that personally and I put my own money on it. So
Yeah,
that's just the way
yeah.
that went. But let's get to my last prediction. And I'm not going to lie, I took something that I had already kind of talked about earlier this week. So if you've been watching some of the videos, you know that I'm down on this guy. But I'm going to do this. And this did piss some people off. I got some pretty negative comments based on this prediction that I had the other day. So I'm doubling down. And that is going to be that Tank Bigsby for the Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be the sole reason why Travis Etienne does not finish as a top 10 running back this year.
Well,
What?
guess what? Well, guess what? People are going to be even more pissed because I'm not an ETN guy. So I'm going to say that he very well could, but I'm talking about the way James Robinson used to do it, like taking all the food off of ETN's plate. ETN, I'll be honest, I've been holding this back a while. To me, ETN ain't nothing but Clyde Edwards Hilaire Jr. That's all he is to me. I've never been an ETN guy. And I think that if Tank Bigsby comes in there and Tank Bigsby, runs wild or like starts eating goal line and all that stuff, then I think ETN is just gonna be just another Clyde Edwards Hilaire. That's just how I look at him. He's a small running back. I've never viewed ETN as a running back one, or like he's like a mid running back two to me, like a gadget guy almost. I'm not a big ETN guy. So yeah, I don't care if it pisses people off. I think that
Yeah.
Tank Bigsby is knocking people over, running people over, and scoring. I was going to say ESTN, ETN, or ENT, ear, nose, and throat, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be just catching little passes in the backfield. I don't think he's going to be phased out of the offense. I just think he's going to become just a regular cog in the offense. And I mean, it's go time now for Jacksonville. It's go time. They can't sneak up on anybody this year. They don't have time to sit there and be like, all right, Trevor Etienne, that's your guy. You guys play for Clemson, everything. They don't have time for all that. You got to put the guys out there, the dogs out there that are going to get the job done. And Etienne, he had a decent little season. You notice we're in multiple leagues together. You've never seen me going out there trying to acquire Travis Etienne. That's because I've never been an Etienne guy. So I mean,
Here's
yeah,
the thing, man. I just when I look at it, right? And I say, I mean, you said this is going to be like James Robinson, and I have some heartbreaking news for people who love Travis Etienne. Tank Bigsby is one, a lot more talented than James Robinson. Sorry, not sorry. Tank Bigsby is also two, drafted in the third freaking round of the NFL draft by this coaching staff. And then Tank Bigsby three, I just forgot my point. No, Tank Bigsby three. Uh,
His name is Tank.
no, I mean, let's just really break it down to it. It's just Travis Etienne, man. He is very good at that kind of one cut run style. And here's my third point. Now I just remembered it. Doug Peterson has a history of utilizing multiple backs in his offense at all
He
times. Like
does. He
this
does.
goes all the way back to when we were getting pissed off as like rookie Miles Sanders owners
Jordan Howard.
and we're like, why the hell is Doug Peterson not getting Miles Sanders the ball? Like, Miles Sanders is so talented. Yeah, dude, Doug Peterson does this shit. And for
Yeah.
whatever reason, he, looked at Travis Etienne last year and said, we had James Robinson, we traded him, and then we gave Etienne all of these carries, and now I kind of want to reel those back and get my own guy to kind of buffer out this backfield. And so Tank Bigsby, for what it's worth, ETN 5'10", 215 pounds. He's 24 years old. Bigsby, 6', 215 pounds, 21 years old. Like, come on, man. We got a bigger back here. He plays not as fast as ETN, but he's quick and he's able to get through the zones. He's not like just this big bruising back. Like, he's a good running back. And this is more so not necessarily me being the biggest Tank Bigsby fan club, nor the biggest Travis Etienne, hater, but the reality of the situation is that Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are telling us straight to our face as the fantasy football community, this is a running back by committee. And if
Mhm.
you think that Travis Etienne is going to be this bell cow, which for the record, uh, the fantasy football community does view him as that on keep trade cut, because he is being valued as running back 7 overall in dynasty fantasy football. And I think that that is going to be a mistake. I do not think that Travis Etienne is going to finish as a top 7 back, let alone he's not going to finish as a top 10. This is a backfield by committee. And I still have some concerns about Etienne's, health as a whole. I know he played, how many games did he play last year? He played all 17. No, he played, yeah, all 17 games last year, but he didn't look fully healthy coming off of that list frank at the beginning. We'll see what happens year 2, but I just think Tank Bigsby, man, he's here to have a significant role in the offense, especially with day 2 draft capital.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I think in any team, in any world of the NFL, if you're a small back, it's very likely that the team is going to bring in a bigger back to complement you. That's just the way it is. Um, you can see it throughout almost every team, unless you're a team like the Titans or a team like the Falcons or Ben. Even the Falcons are talking about having Algier compliment. That was some news to me.
Compliment a
Compliment
generational running back in Bijan.
Yeah, yeah, compliment a generational running back, and it's kind of just like, okay. Last I checked, he hasn't played a snap in the NFL yet, but last I checked, Bijan here, ETN here. So I mean, why wouldn't another back come in and take off for ETN's plate? There's nothing special about ETN. He's not
It is what
generational.
it is, man. The best thing at this point that I can say about Travis Etienne is he has an in. Trevor Lawrence wanted him. They got him. They brought him in. They're in this together. That's the one of the best things I can say about him. The second is that, yeah, his YPC last year was pretty solid. I mean, he ran about 5 yards a carry. But if you go back and you actually watch the games, it would be 2 yard run, 1 yard run, 3 yard run, 2 yard run, 2 yard run, 28-yard run because he breaks one off. And then at the end of the day, it looks like he's running 4 or 5 yards a carry. But
Yeah,
Travis Etienne, he plays in spurts. He has such I'll call his speed is elite. He has elite acceleration and the ability for him to just take one through the hole and go 28, 30 yards. That lives and that exists with Travis Etienne. But I think that you're going to see a guy like Bigsby who's going to come in, he's going to be utilized like that. And quite frankly, Bigsby is probably going to be the goal line back there, and he's probably going to get the goal line carries, which for Travis Etienne, you'd hope that the touchdown numbers come up because last year all he scored was 5 touchdowns. But I don't think that, I don't think the ceiling is much higher than that. I mean, the Jags are going to score a good amount of touchdowns. I think they're the favorites right now to win the AFC South. And for what it's worth, you got to get Calvin Ridley the ball. You got to get Christian Kirk the ball. Bigsby, Etienne, all these guys are going to get the ball. I don't think double-digit touchdowns is in the realm of possibilities for Etienne. And again, I'm really not just trying to sit here and poo-poo on Travis Etienne all night, but it's just I do not see him being utilized like this top 5 elite fantasy running back that we see, because when we get those running backs, they're getting 15, 20 touchdowns, and or they're getting 55, 60 receptions on the ground, which again, Travis Etienne's not getting utilized in the passing game. Last year, he got 35 catches, which is pretty mediocre, especially for somebody who people deem as this elite pass catching running back. For somebody who you deem as this elite pass catcher, he's not catching footballs. So you just bring in competition. He hasn't shown everything that I've wanted to see out of him. I'm not in. I'm just not in on Travis Etienne as this top 7 guy. And that's why I'm willing to say as my bold prediction, which I don't really think is, I think of all my predictions, this is the least bold, is that Tank Bigsby is going to be the sole reason why Etienne does not finish as a running back 1 this year.
I mean, it could really get even worse, to be honest. Like, sorry to break it to you, ETN fans. It could really get even worse. Doug Peterson is a 3 running back kind of guy. He likes having this guy that could do multiple things in a passing and running game. He likes having a bruiser, a guy on the goal line, a la Jordan Howard. And he likes having a gadget guy like Darren Sproles. And I'm sorry.
And
If you
Boston
want
Scott when he was there.
Boston Scott. And I'm sorry, man. ETN is a Boston Scott, Darren Sproles kind of guy, as opposed to a Miles Sanders or Jordan Howard type.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that Bigsby is more talented than ETN, because I think at the end of the day, if these guys were in the same draft class and we went back to and looked at them as prospects, I think I like ETN more as a prospect profile than I do Bigsby. But Bigsby is good enough that it's going to prevent ETN from doing, what some people want him to do, which is become that top elite young running back for Dynasty fantasy football. And I think people all year long are going to be like, is that Tank Bigsby in the game right now? Like, boom, falls in the end zone. Is that Tank Bigsby? Like, yeah, that's going to happen all year long, bro.
Welcome to the New England Patriot offense.
I won't go that far, but it'll be fun. But there is a reason why I've been drafting Tank Bigsby in 3rd and 4th rounds of my rookie drafts all year long. I've been taking Tank Bigsby over and over again because I think there's a role. So
Yep.
that will be my bold prediction. So let's just summarize. My 3 and your 3. For me, it was Justin Herbert has the potential, has the ceiling to be the quarterback 1 this year. Kyle Phillips is going to fall into 100 targets with the Tennessee Titans, and Tank Bigsby is going to be the reason why Travis Etienne will not finish as an RB1. And for you,
Aaron Rodgers is going to fall flat on his damn face because he's switching rosters and he's not Tom Brady. The Arizona Cardinals are going to have a new hero emerge out of the backfield, and they're going to get yards for a team that's not going to be very good. And my final is going to be that Jordan Addison is going to have a better season in 2023 than Adam Thielen had in 2022.
fair enough. Of all of your predictions, the only one that I don't see happening is the Rodgers. I just don't see it. But the other ones I see. So I guess your Aaron Rodgers prediction is my Kyle Phillips prediction. Let's just call it that.
It could just be hatred of Aaron Rodgers. It could just be hatred of Aaron Rodgers.
Could be too. And maybe that's just me being blinded by some
it.
Garrett Wilson goggles. But
Yeah, I mean the guy's already contemplating retirement. Once you start thinking about it, you're on your way down. I
Yeah.
love Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, we'll see. So that was three bold predictions from each of us for the 2023 season. If you guys tapped into this episode, I saw we had people in and out, throughout the episode. Nobody commented today, unfortunately. I don't know why you guys are hopping in and not engaging with the content. Come on now. Um,
Come on,
maybe these predictions were too bold that they were like, hell no, I'm out of here, dude. They
it was
probably
your
hopped in. They
ETN. It was your
they hopped in.
ETN prediction.
Yeah, they hopped in. They heard us arguing about Kyle Phillips, and they said, "Oh hell no," and they left. But we'll see. Anyways, if you watched, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Help us out in the YouTube algorithm. Best thing you guys can do is like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of those things. Those are really what help us, grow and kind of get our voices heard in the fantasy football community. And at the end of the day, we want to help people win Dynasty Fantasy Football Championships because that is what we play for. We want to win that goddamn trophy at the end of the year. So hopefully we are giving you guys some actionable advice at the end of the day that you can take some of this and take it home. Maybe it is going and buying Kyle Phillips. Maybe it's not, but that's just the way that it's going to be. So I appreciate you for checking it out. Go join the Discord. It is linked in the YouTube banner. It is also linked in the description. And side note for you guys, if any of you guys are WWE wrestling fans, go watch my boy War's channel. Go ahead and shout it out, War, because you've been getting after it this week.
Yes, yes. Come check us out on the Crimson Mask Show. That's where you can find us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, turn on your notifications for that. And you can also check us out at crimson-mask.com. That is our website where we will bring you the best content that we can bring you on a week-to-week basis. Yeah.
See, it's like he's been doing this for a while now, guys. He's turned into a pro all of a sudden. So, anyways, you guys know what to do. Join the Discords, go to the Crimson Mask website, go do all that damn thing. Anyways, we'll see you guys on the next episode.